Looking to kill time during the quarantine? How about you spend it chopping tomatoes? And welcome back to Cliffieland. This is week in country number 161 on our second attempt of cooking the food of every single country in the world. And tonight up to the nation of South Sudan. South Sudan, a landlocked nation located in north-central Africa, is surrounded by about 6 other countries and is technically the world's youngest independent nation in that it declared its independence and was internationally recognized in 2011. Its cuisine is very typical of that of Central Africa with some influence from the Arab and East African traditions. You're going to find a lot of dishes involving grains like sorghum and maize, as well as root vegetables like cassava and yam. There are locally grown fruits, and the meats tend to be goat and mutton and chicken and fish near the rivers and lakes. Also, the national dish is a sorghum flatbread crepe, which is similar to the flatbreads that we made for nearby Ethiopia, Eritrea, Djibouti, and Somalia, so you notice the similarities there. We faced this all when we did this whole thing last time, so let's take a look and see how things went when we tried things then. Well, 4 years ago on the Global Cooking Challenge, I did get to cook and stream across 2 nights, and the first night I made 2 things. The first one being a peanut butter stew with chicken breast. And that was nice. It was a really basic recipe, but it was kind of dry because it was chicken breast, and I wasn't terribly excited to do that one a second time, so we're not doing that one. But we are doing the other dish we did that night, which is a South Sudanese tomato salad, which was the most amazing salad ever. I served it for guests and parties in the 4 years since, and it's always been a smash hit, so looking forward to doing that one again. Now, what we cooked and streamed across the second night is the other things that we'll be doing tonight, and those are Kisra, which is, as I mentioned, the national dish. It's a sorghum flatbread crepe, sort of like a pancake. That tasted really good. My abilities on doing crepes and pancakes are really limited, so looks-wise I didn't do too well, but taste-wise that was good. And we served that with a peanut stew with beef and spinach, and that came out really well. Tasted really delicious, went really nice with the bread, so looking forward to doing that one tonight. All that being said, we need to see what go into tonight's 3 dishes. First, for our South Sudanese tomato salad, we'll need 5 tomatoes diced with seeds removed, 4 green onions finely diced, 1 small green chili pepper with stems and seeds removed, 1/4 cup of Italian parsley finely diced, 1/3 cup of oil, 1/4 cup of unsweetened smooth peanut butter, the juice of 2 limes, 1/2 teaspoon of salt or to taste. And then for our South Sudanese peanut stew with beef and spinach, we'll need 1¼ pounds of beef cubed, 2 tablespoons of canola oil, 2 onions chopped, 4 cloves of garlic crushed, 3 cups of beef broth, 1 pound of spinach, rinsed, dried, and shredded, though we're just going to be using baby spinach in this case, 3 tomatoes chopped, 1 cup of unsweetened peanut butter, and salt and pepper to taste. And finally, for our Kisra, or South Sudanese flatbread, we'll need 2 cups of sorghum flour mixed in 1½ cups of water, left to sit overnight or for at least 12 hours, 1 cup of extra water or as needed, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and unroasted sesame oil. That looks really good. As you can see, I really hope you like peanuts, and I hope you really like chopping tomatoes, because that's a whole lot of tomatoes to chop, but it's gonna be worth it. We gotta get cooking. Into a large bowl, place the tomatoes, green onions, chili pepper, and parsley, and then into the peanut butter, whisk the oil, and add the lime juice and salt, and then using a wooden spoon, stir the dressing onto the mixture until coated. Heat the oil in a large pot or Dutch oven over medium heat, season the meat with salt and pepper, and then in batches brown the meat on all sides. Reserve the meat to a plate, add more oil if needed, add the onions and the garlic, and cook until the onions begin to brown and the garlic is fragrant, about 10 minutes. Return the meat to the pot, then add the stock, and bring it to a boil. Reduce to low and cook until the meat is tender and the liquid is reduced by 2/3. Add in the peanut butter and stir until incorporated and thick. Then add the spinach and tomatoes and cook until the spinach wilts and the peanut butter releases its oils, making it shiny. Taste and season with salt and pepper. Into the sorghum flour water mixture, stir in the all-purpose flour. Then add the extra cup of water and mix to form a thin batter. Heat the oil in a skillet over medium heat and ladle some batter into the skillet. Take a small scraper and holding it at a 30-degree angle, spread the batter smoothly. When the edges begin to curl up, the kisra is done. This should take only about a minute or so. Repeat until the batter is used up. Plate the salad in bowls, place the kisra on the plates, and scoop servings of the stew on top. Wipe plates and serve. How did that turn out? Well, just like last time, it was fantastic. It was really so good and probably one of the biggest surprises, considering that very few people even really know about the country, much less its cuisine, and the surprise of how good this was is just totally out of scale, because that was really good. Let's start out with the kisra. Now, as I mentioned, I am really bad at making flatbreads and pancakes and everything. They don't hold together. Someday I'll learn, but taste-wise, that was really good. The sorghum had a really nice kind of nutty flavor. It would be good if you're gluten-free, except for that all-purpose flour, but still, it was really, really tasty. And it went really nicely with the stew. So the kisra, I'm going to give 4 out of 5 globes because that was really nice, and I'm sure I could do it better. As for that stew, that was also very, very tasty. We wound up not shredding large bunches of spinach and just using baby spinach because I kind of ran out of time, and therefore kind of the stems were kind of in it, which just kind of changed the texture a little bit. If I had to do it again, I would take the time to like get spinach and shred it because that would have helped. Also, I took a little bit too long from the time it was on the stove to on the plates, and it kind of drained a little bit of the color out of it. But the taste was really, really great. Loved it. Gonna give that one 4 out of 5 globes. Just really nice. It was kind of almost even a 5 because it was really, really tasty. But as for that salad, that was, as always, the superstar of the evening. Truly one of the best salads I've made. I think salads are becoming one of the best things that I've done because, you know, there are a few really great ones that have come up, but this one really ranks right up there because it was so good. It was fresh. It was bright. It's a really great flavor combination that you probably haven't thought about if you don't have any kind of history with the foods of this region, because that was just so good. You really have to try it yourself. So that one obviously gets 5 out of 5 globes. Thank you, South Sudan. So that does it for this 3-week stint here in Africa. Next week we cross the Straits of Gibraltar back to Europe to have the legendary food of Spain. See you then. And remember, if you'd like to be advised when these videos are posted, please be sure to follow us on Periscope. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Like and subscribe if you'd like to be advised when these videos are posted, and be sure to hit that bell to get those notifications. Remember, links to the original recipes can be found in the About section. If you have any thoughtful feelings or helpful suggestions about the food we're eating, please be sure to sound off in the comments. Thanks for watching and happy eating!